I should get an indication. Starting,
Wait a minute, David.
and that's, okay, you're on.
Hello, folks. Welcome to the Selectmen's meeting of January 11th. Three selectmen are here. Town clerk is here. Our administrative assistant is not here. She is not feeling well. So, why don't we start as you usually do with our town clerk and his report, who is very comprehensive this week.
Oh, okay. As I mentioned earlier, I'm not going to Wisconsin on my trip, so I'll be around. I'm sure you're all happy about that.
Oh, absolutely.
I did get this call from Sean Carroll last week, concerned about the condition of the roads in town. I'm just passing it on. I'm not making judgment either way.
Did he give us a section or area? Or?
No, he had just heard about the
His accident.
the rollover up on North Road last week.
Yeah, I remember.
It was across from Connell.
Yeah.
And he said, we just can't chance it. We're pulling our trucks from Parsons Field today. And I assume they were back the next day. I don't know. But there is concern from them because they've got to travel the roads in heavy trucks, and otherwise people
Should be driving very slowly
Well, yeah.
in heavy trucks.
Yep. Yeah, maybe a note to them that says we appreciate your concern. Maybe.
But
Yeah, that's up to you. I said I would pass it on.
Does it have a time on that?
Oh, I can't remember what it was. Monday or Tuesday. No, it wasn't either. It was
Was it during the day?
There was a rollover at the.
Yeah.
There was a rollover there, and there was one on 160 in Porter at the exact same time.
Yeah.
both trucks.
No, they weren't. Neither one of them were his trucks.
Well,
but there was
one
a
was.
rollover at the. No, that was on
That was-
Pendexter
Well, the
Road.
Pendexter one.
That was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, last week there was a vehicle rollover on 160 in Parsons Field.
Right.
No, not that that's our town, but there was one at the exact same time on 160 in Porter.
Yeah.
I mean, the conditions lately have been really sporadic in different areas.
Yeah,
And
there've been a
it's
lot of
real-
days when they've been very
Yeah.
bad,
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
And
just
if you're
here.
going out, you have to take caution.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
simple as that.
Yep. Okay, I got a call from somebody today who said they'd heard they couldn't get sand for personal use anymore. I have no idea where that came from. I assured her that she could get it and
Yes.
directed her to the closest sand and salt shed. And as far as I know, we're still saying 2 5-gallon buckets per
Yeah,
storm?
yeah.
Okay.
No pickup trucks.
Well,
And
unless they
no-
put their 2 5-gallon buckets in.
Yeah.
No salt.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my next thing. What
There's
was
a
that
sign.
note from Maya?
It was just a picture that, because there's a Harvey or somebody put a sign up, no salt, right? There's somebody put a steel sign up anyways. Maybe probably Maya put it up.
Probably
A steel
Maya.
sign that
Yeah.
says, because it's always been, you can take 2 buckets of road sand, mix, but not straight salt.
Right.
Well, somebody had been shoveling out of the straight salt thing.
I see.
And so he was just letting us know that over the course of a year, he said there's always a little missing every storm you can see because there's a shovel
Shovel
mark. He
mark,
said
yeah.
that over the course of the year, you lose a few yards of
Yeah.
salt,
Yeah.
that people take.
Right.
So, I mean, that's the price you pay when you don't have a door and
Yeah.
what are you gonna do?
Right, yeah.
Put a camera down there and monitor it, I guess, but
Okay,
Well, the
I
sand-
just wasn't sure what he was
that's what it
saying.
was. I asked him and then I rode right down immediately, but he had already scooped out with his loader so you couldn't see anything when I got there, because I couldn't figure it. The picture didn't
Yeah,
really give
yeah, I
much.
saw your comment.
Yeah.
If somebody's taking a bucket of salt, it'll only last for a little while. It'll solidify as hard as a rock, and you won't be able to use it.
Right, if they,
So it's not mixed.
Right.
You might as well
right.
throw the whole thing away.
Well, they
I'm
may
not
take
sure
it and
we-
throw it right out, who knows, but anyways.
Okay. Next thing, I guess a question about what it is that rescue is actually going to do now. I think I understood that they had a couple of people that were gonna
Well, so
run it?
we don't know exactly,
Okay,
if that answers it.
okay.
They have had, a part of their new proposal included enough money to hire 2 men or beings from
I see.
Sanford,
Okay.
20 hours each to work as chief, work as managing more of a
I thought
managerial position is
I
what I
thought
understood.
EMT paramedics.
Well, they are, but they were to take it as, they would take it together as a 40-hour position and work 20 hours each, get roughly, per week. And that would be as a manager or whatever, you run it, so to speak. I'm not saying that's gonna happen. They're gonna get hired.
But does that take the chief's position?
Well, personally, I think they need a chief.
Right, they don't need managers, they need.
Well,
workers.
I shouldn't say managers, but sort of like they were
need
gonna run it.
qualified people to go on
They
call.
need yes, correct. And we need a chief that knows how to run things and is ambitious and wants
Right.
to get things done.
Right.
Also, we have an interim chief, and nothing against him at all. Thankful we have an interim chief, but I think we need a chief that's experienced and maybe a little younger and go-getter, So we're staying with Sockeye Rescue. That's not a question.
Okay.
The number they gave us for the budget, or I don't know if you'd seen that yet. Probably
I've
not.
only heard,
Well, they'd given us a proposal, and we're not saying that that's set in stone. The other towns are rushing around trying to figure it out, but
Because they have
Their
in
town
March.
meeting.
meeting in 2 months, 3 months,
But-
yeah.
What they proposed was 1 full-time ambulance, obviously, and then the second full-time ambulance, 24 hours, right? 24 hours.
Yeah, and
We proposed that they have the second ambulance, we as in our town, for 40 hours, right?
just another shift,
Add an-
complete shift.
Another, or 2 shifts.
Well, 40 hours is,
Yeah, 40 hours would be 2 more 8-hour shifts. 24 to 40, 16 more hours, right?
40 hours.
Is what we were proposing.
Yeah, right.
They had, in
They
their
wanted 3
3/8.
6-hour shifts or 7.
Right, so anyways,
6-day shifts.
we're
or
asking
something.
for what it
More.
would cost us for a little bit more.
okay.
We like the 5 8-hour days extra that we have 2 ambulances. They had a little more chance to pick the times. If you have 5 8-hour shifts, you can more or less pick the times a little better on what days or times you need the 2. If there's a rhyme to reason when the calls come in,
Right,
you could
yeah.
pick them a little more if you had 5 8-hour days to work with versus just having 3. So that was our proposal. I'm not saying all the towns are gonna go along with that. That's just what we're hoping, and obviously it'll bring the price up a little more from what they told us. In all honesty, it sounds like Cornish is definitely not gonna go along with any more money because, near as I can tell, they're tighter than the bark to a tree, but the other towns seem open to a few more
Cornish,
hours.
you think is reluctant to?
I think so. But, so,
Well, that's the whole thing. If one town,
I know, but we'll have to work through it somehow, we'll get through it.
Obviously, all 4 towns have to agree to sign the new contract, which Rescue is preparing, with input from the town.
Hiram wanted to go even further, give them more money
Yeah.
than what they were asking for, and which we're asking for a little more than what they were proposing, so it would be a little bit more. But and it is a jump. It's gonna double what. I'm not coughing because it's a lot of money, but dust in my throat. It's gonna double, or even be a hair more than double what it was previously. But I think that's pretty much expected
Yeah.
to get more coverage. I mean,
Yeah.
it was pretty dismal what we were getting, so.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, good.
So it's Sockeye Rescue for sure.
And do you know when you might expect that?
We want to sign a contract, all the towns sign a contract. I can't tell you when, but I would propose that it's well before our town meeting.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's going to be before their town meetings, but I think it'll be before our town meeting.
Okay.
That's what I hope, and I think that's what the other, at least Porter's hoping too,
Yeah.
and Hiram. Not sure about Cornish, they're the odd.
I don't know if that'll confuse the total outcome of what we're doing. If we don't propose to have it at the same time that the other towns,
What's that?
have a special town meeting to propose what the costs are for this.
I don't think we can have a special town meeting if you think we should, but I don't think there'll be, people will understand. I think that, I have faith that people will understand that another town, 2 other towns came to us and said, you gotta do something about your rescue. We're taking 200 calls a year. And you're giving us 15 calls a year or whatever, 20 calls a year. You know what I'm saying? I would think the people in the town, do you think, would understand that this is why it costs more money? I mean, it is what it
Well,
is.
they've been underfunded for a number of years.
I believe that, and a lot of people will understand that. There'll be a few that won't think so, but,
Yep.
there was just for example, citizens from another town went to their selectmen and said, if the rescue goes up, that means that they're gonna pay for that pays for the pickup too, right? Like as in, when you call for the rescue, it pays for the rescue call.
But that's what I...
No. So there's some people that think that, and
Yeah.
so,
Gotcha.
My point is that our people should have a chance to vote on it the same time they do, because if they don't, we go back to the fall and say, well, okay,
well, we can.
we don't want to do that. Then where does that leave them? I think that a special town meeting is in order to make this thing cohesive.
Well, we can.
To get together. Because if we wait till fall and we
It
don't
could be
have
a
a
potential
proposed
problem.
budget,
It could be. If it did get voted correct, it could be. I don't foresee that happening, but because people want to get picked up by the rescue.
You would think so, but
Yeah, no, that's probably,
today's climate, I don't know. I think legally, we'd be better off with a special town meeting.
yeah. Maybe make the other towns feel better, I guess.
And I think we'll probably have a few more issues before then too to go along with it. So,
Okay.
Okay, good information, thank you. Still working on personnel policy, get to a point where we can have a draft for you. Down to the taxes then. We're over 90% of our 2021 commitment collected, or in discounts, so that's pretty good.
That compares to other years, a little better, a
We're ahead
little
of
worse?
other years.
Ahead,
Yeah,
okay, good.
yeah.
Good.
Let's see, we're down to 17 accounts for the 2019 tax year and 41 accounts for the 2020 tax year, and those are both down. I think I looked on this date at this date last year for the 2018 taxes, which would correspond to these 2019 taxes. I think we had 35 accounts, and the amount owed was correspondingly more
Double,
than
yeah.
what it is here. And I looked at the the corresponding for the 2020s. I honestly don't recall what that was, but it was more. It was not quite as much more in terms of number of accounts, but it was more. Cybersecurity has turned out to be more involved, the plan. I mean, it's one of those where if something happened, I could probably restore things right now, but have a plan and have it on paper so that if I disappear, somebody else can do it. That's a little more involved, so getting that.
I probably asked this last week.
No.
Maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
In 17 accounts owed 29,000.
Mm-hmm.
In 41 accounts. That 17 accounts are in the 41, right?
Well, yeah, if they owe 19s, they also owe
Right, okay,
20s,
that's just,
yes.
okay, so 17 accounts, and additionally, 17, 27, 30, 24 more accounts, new accounts were added the next year. The 17 carried over, and we had 24 new ones, okay,
Yes, additional ones,
right,
not new, but,
additional ones, correct?
yeah,
Okay,
correct.
and that's about the same amount of money, too. 17 owed 29, and 41 owed 56.
Yeah.
So,
Now, understand there are a lot more taxes and interest on the older ones.
then on
So
the,
that-
right, but this is a
Yeah, they're in
net
the
number.
same ballpark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Yeah. Let's see, on the back, there isn't much, really. Just the ongoing stuff. I think I told you that Dallin Hauser was in to get sworn in for the appeals
Yeah.
board.
Yep.
Otherwise, that's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Excuse me.
We reviewed last week's agenda and approved it. In the minutes. And we're currently approving and paying bills. We have no ads in the shopping guide. We do have an ad in the shopping guide?
No, but that reminded me. We want to let people know that we will be closed on Monday for Martin Luther King Day.
Okay.
So we will not be open next Monday.
Next
I meant to
Monday?
put that on my report and it completely slipped my mind.
And to answer one of your questions on your report about marijuana, that we talked to the CEO and he's monitoring that and hasn't had any new problems.
Okay, good.
Sheriff's report came in last week. Animal control, same usual problems. A lot of dogs and cats, you know. In fact, one cat, 4 dogs. Just a planning board letter. Desiree, the recorder for the planning board, wants to keep this information with the map for the lots, just so people can find the decisions that were made by the planning board about subdividing the lots, so. Probably a good procedural thing to try and keep everything together, so we won't be searching like we did for the gravel pit
Yeah.
information.
Yeah, that one should just have a note in the folder
Yeah.
that says where it is, because it's a ton of stuff.
The appeals, oh, my goodness. The Nelligan-Moreau dispute, which is in the court system. The court system asks for any additional information by the 7th. Attorneys for both parties send 4 or 5 pages more of additional information as to why their side should prevail. So hopefully we'll hear something from the courts in the next few weeks. Comprehensive committee has not been forgotten. Selectman Maycomer will be in the process of contacting prospective members and people who were interested in doing it in the next few weeks. Secaucus Road, no updates. Solar updates. Did they come out and check, Harvey? Do you know? They were going to come out on the 4th.
They were out last week, I believe, on a Tuesday,
Okay.
and I went over there to see if there was anybody there, but they didn't give me a time that they would be there, so I had no way to do it, and I had to get it down here at the office. But as according to Jesse, that they were down there looking at how they would tackle the removal of the trees and whatnot, and Jesse, I guess, suggested that they do it while it's cold and that the ground is solid and get started on it. So I don't know where that is going to end up. I'll have to contact Kezia Hernandez and see if I can get some answers out of her. it'd be interesting to know that we are on their list to get things done, which we haven't heard yet, so. I'll check into that.
What's that, as far as them clearing the land?
Yeah,
That's such sandy ground, I don't think it really matters whether they,
well, it may not, but that was a suggestion that Jesse made on it. Not you, Jim. Just CEO.
Too many Jessies.
I was kinda curious what they would, 'cause they're at the end of their term, right?
Pretty close.
Yeah, they just gave us a extension.
They gave us an extension, or we
Yeah,
gave them an
well,
extension?
we gave them an extension
Yeah.
on it, so we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully they're serious about this.
They got planning board approval, right, for
Yes,
that?
all the
Yeah.
approvals have been done, yeah.
Okay, that's only good for 18 months.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's
I don't
why
know
I
when
think-
that 18 months is up.
I think the extension has been there. If we have to go and revisit it, we will. But
Well, you're talking about an extension. That wasn't from the planning board, was it?
No, this is
No.
an extension on their
due diligence.
due diligence
Oh.
period. So yes, you're right. They may have to get their 18-month renewal for the planning board, but this is just
Gotcha.
they aren't physically doing anything that I know other than putting up ribbons and checking things out, DEP, DEA, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Actually, it wouldn't be a
Not
bad
deep.
idea to revisit it and make sure that they're on the same
Right.
road that they
Well,
started
maybe we'd
with.
like to have them come in and,
Wouldn't hurt. Kind of nice if because a couple people have asked me lately, and I just said, I don't know.
I know.
well, why don't we try and do a workshop next?
All right, I will contact Acacia and see if they're willing to come in and tell us what's going on somehow.
At the very least, give us an update on what is actually going on, not just theoretically what they hope is going to happen.
And the roof people, on the solar on the roof here.
Do they not want to sell it to us or what?
I don't know. They haven't we have to follow up with that, Harvey.
Yeah, I'll follow up with that too, because
To make sure they're,
Are we still paying them something?
no. Well,
They're just reaping the benefits? How's that work?
we buy it out after, it's not until February, I think, is our first opportunity.
Oh, that's right. When he came last time, he said it wasn't.
yeah, they wanted to finalize their cost of us.
Because there's
That's right. They may change the price on us.
Yeah,
Well, they've got a fixed number.
Can they?
I don't know.
No, they've got a fixed number.
Yeah.
They do?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Do you remember that conversation?
I do. I got it right here. I got the schedule.
Okay.
Honest engine.
What you gotta
there
look
was-
at is the contract.
There was some, when he was here, he kind of went, well,
I don't know what it's
Right.
gonna be worth at
There
that
was some
time.
question if you terminate it a little early, and that's what we were doing.
oh, okay.
We were trying to get out of it, not get out of it,
Yeah.
take it over at the
Okay.
earliest possible time. If we wait until the normal time, it's a
The
flat,
contract.
right, it's the
Okay.
contract
All right.
rate.
Oh,
Gotcha.
good.
So, all right, Robinson Mill has been nothing. As far as I know our attorney's talking to their attorney, so,
well, Scott was just here, and he took off again. Where
well,
did
he probably didn't want to stay. Stanley Building, good old Stanley Building, Colin joined a request filed in Superior Court. I think, to my non-legal thought, this is just to, in effect, establish him as the owner of the Stanley Building LLC, so they can proceed with sale, foreclosure, whatever they're gonna do. No Saco River Rescue, we talked about that. Rescue has generated a contract for the 4 towns to look at. Last time they did this, it was 2 years and we're still waiting. No one could agree on a consensus of what we should do, so hopefully if we get some parameters together, we can come up with an agreement, which all 4 towns would buy into. We have a draft, we have a letter going to a resident concerning the no trespass order. The select board voted on that, and the bottom line is the no trespass order will be reinstated due to some circumstances that happened at the last planning board workshop. We taxed a person or a property inappropriately, and we owe them $340, so.
Actually, just to clarify, we don't owe them anything. They haven't paid us.
Oh, okay, so we're
Yeah.
saying you don't have to pay us.
Right, but it
Okay.
has to be abated because it's part of the commitment.
It was incorrectly charged to begin. Okay, gotcha,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
So that's good, that's just a paperwork transaction.
Hopefully we'll get it right next year, because this is the second year.
Oh. Do we have 3? Do we have 3 years? State property, this is something that could be of interest to our residents, the state property tax deferral program. It's where the state offers a loan program, cover annual property tax bills of Maine people who are ages 65 and older or are permanently disabled and cannot pay for them on their own. So the qualifications, 65 or over, or disability, income of less than 40,000, assets of less than 50,000, or 75 if joint. So if you feel you'd like to take advantage of that program and are qualified, please give the office a call. We'll brief Debbie when she gets back so she'll understand what you're calling about. But hopefully we can make it a little easier for people to pay their taxes, at least initially. Okay, so it's a loan, and it has to be repaid when you sell your property or becomes part of an estate, so it's not a gift. Maine Municipal Association sent us a little note thanking us for our membership. Somewhere I had a pertinent paper. Our dues for this year were like $779. Last year we saved $14,500 because we buy salt with a group of other towns through Maine Municipal. I'm sorry, not Maine Municipal. Through the Southern Maine. And Southern Maine also provides a way to get some discounted paper, copy paper, so town clerk's looking into that. Maine Municipal is just gives us legal assistance for general things that our town lawyer would not really need to be involved with. The York County Council of Maine Association of Realtors, heating assistance. So if there's people out there need help with the heating assistance, there's a possibility, a general assistance really office can help. So that would be a phone call into Deborah, who handles the general assistance. And obviously there are guidelines and criteria to qualify, but can't hurt to call. Haven't heard anything from the road commissioner. The selectmen updates, anyone have anything additional that we haven't talked about? Or want to talk about?
Just to go along with the road comments earlier, I did notice I was on the south side of town quite a bit, and same thing as what I spoke of last week or the week before, whatever it was. The roads are just not that wide, you know.
Tough to wing them back now.
It's not tough to wing them back, but you could at least get them as wide as. It's almost like they don't know where the road is, because one side they'd have the wing down so far that they take rocks off the stone wall, and then the other side there'd be 3 feet of snow in the actual road. It's just kind of strange, you know. It's like they plowed one side with a pickup.
And didn't come back?
Yeah, it's like they plowed one side with a pickup truck and the other side with a big 10-wheeler, you know. It's just so. I don't know. They're obliging. I keep speaking to them, and you know.
Well, should we call them in and?
No, I don't think it would change anything. I mean, me speaking to them is, I think, enough. Well, it should be. So, but I haven't heard of. I mean, yes, there's the complaints of the rollers, overs, and whatever. But there's been moments where the other morning it started raining. Until the trucks got out there, you know, an hour. Yeah. There was an hour there, or maybe more, to some parts of the road where it was bad and you could have rolled over at any moment. You could, but that's not necessarily the plow guy's fault. He got there, he went out as soon as it started raining, you know what I mean? But so there is times when the roads are bad. Maybe there's more times than there should be, but unless they start pre-treating stuff, you know, we're not exactly going to always have. You got to proceed with some extent of caution, which has always been true. So.
Well, Sunday was a difficult time, anyways. I had my car in the lean-to, and I took it out.
Yeah, Sunday morning was when it was, right? Yeah, Sunday morning it went from fine to not good in about 10 minutes. Yeah. As soon as it started raining, it froze immediately. But then. When I get out of church, everything was fine. Yeah. When I went to church, it was a disaster. When I got out of church, it was fine. So they had sanded and the salt had chewed it up enough so that it was okay.
That's a good reason to go to church.
Maybe it was because that wasn't even what I was praying for. But.
I have a couple of things. I've contacted a couple of people about getting quotes on a hot water heat system for the town hall here, and another one for putting in a power generator system. So we'll see what comes of that. They haven't got back to me yet on a date, but we'll walk it through with them and see where that goes.
Okay, we did have a discussion before the meeting in a winter road maintenance mailbox damage, and we're looking up what the state laws are. Now, we have a policy of we're going to reimburse up to $50, or the vendor will reimburse up to $50 for mailbox damage. Well, the state has kind of a interesting policy that you can't put a fixed, immovable post in the ground. Like you can't put your mailbox on a piece of granite or cement and keep it within the road's right-of-way, which is generally 15 feet from the edge of the pavement. Could be 10 feet, but, so you have to be careful where you put your mailbox and how you put it. Ideally, something like I see people with sawhorses and a mailbox, and it's gonna snow, they take the sawhorse and move it back 5 or 6 feet.
Or I see a lot of buckets with sand in them.
Yeah, same.
With a 4
That's
by
where we are.
with a 4x4,
Yeah.
which is, if it gets tipped over, you just generally stand it back up,
Yeah.
because it may get tipped over by the snow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, and not the plow itself. But
So technically, if your mailbox was damaged and you had a immovable post, the state would not reimburse you, let's put it that way. Now, the town still will, but we want you to be aware of that it's something we're trying to do, I guess, to help you folks out, so you don't have to buy a new mailbox.
I think maybe a point to make is that if their mailbox is taken down by the plow, they should not, and it is a fixed immovable object like granite or such,
Yeah,
they should not use granite or anything
To
of the
replace
like
it.
within the right of way.
yep. All right. That's about it. Mr. Wright is our visitor today, as he usually is.
Yeah.
You have anything, Jeff, you'd like to
Yes,
throw out?
yeah, you mentioned the rescue increase possibly, and in our special town meeting. I think the best thing to do is reinstate your selectmen's corner and write a little something for our website and for the shopper's guide to allow people a little bit of a heads up without having a special town meeting. Because I think once when people know it's going to be increased, the budget committee will probably say yes, selectmen will say yes, and usually the town goes with yes. So,
Well, that's a good idea, Jeff, and we get some numbers and some
Yeah,
hard
so-
numbers, what we're
so-
talking about,
Yeah.
and what the service they'll provide, I'll be happy to do
yeah, that
that.
would actually be a good idea. It'd be good for all the towns to have. Well, even if we put it in there, it would be the same for all the towns. You know, they could read.
It would be the same guidelines for all the towns, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would be the same, probably the same payment, and it would be the same.
Yep.
Just explain what the new service will be with more, why it's going to be more.
I thought Ron might, but anyway,
Well,
we'll do it.
he very well may, but also we should
We can do it. I can do it.
put one in. Ron's done a lot, so.
Okay,
one more thing.
okay.
I mentioned the coffee machines in the gym, you know, being disposed of, electronic waste. And I made some calls, and there's not too many people that will come down. But I did talk to somebody called Computers Be Gone, and they'll come down and take your computers and cell phones, because they recycle them to third world countries.
Computers and stuff, and copiers?
Some probably copies, not our big one, but on some of the stuff. So it might be something to look into.
Okay.
I have their phone number.
Can you, give it to us,
Yes, I
later?
will. After.
Okay.
Yeah.
Be nice if they took everything then, right?
Yeah, they're into recycling computers. That's what they do.
Well, they should expand into copiers. David, you can work,
He
we
said,
can,
yeah,
you
they did
can
have
get
a
the
guy
stuff
that
he
did that.
feels
Yeah.
appropriate, right, to,
Get rid of?
yeah.
Well, we have very little aside from the big copiers. I think
Okay.
we have one computer is all.
Okay, well, we can, whatever.
But those two copiers that are in there, are they,
They're gone.
They're gone.
They're trash. Yeah.
What do we do with them?
Well, that's the
Well,
question.
that's what we're working on, electronic waste. I mean, you have to get, the last electronic waste I knew was, the high school had one with 2 or 3 towns a few years ago. But we have to get that reinstituted at least maybe in the summertime, springtime for maybe all the towns. I don't know how we can work that. Maybe this high school can do it again.
Well, the Tri-Town, people in Tri-Town can take stuff to the transfer station. So the last one we had was actually just Cornish and us at the Cornish Fire Station.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think the Tri-Town would let us?
No.
No. It's been trying.
They're mad enough of it.
Yeah, but it's been sort of a blessing, this EMS coming together with 4 towns now that actually,
Well, that's the selectmen.
I've
Oh.
talked to Porter, there's no way.
No.
Yeah, there's no-
I'd also talk to him.
Yeah.
Even though even though the electronics doesn't cost them anything, because the company from New Hampshire comes and picks them up, the answer's still
No,
no.
Well, maybe we can find out who they use to pick them up.
that's
That
true.
might be a good idea.
Debbie has the number. I gave it to
That's
her.
right, she does have the number.
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, that would be a real good idea.
Okay, folks, that's
We just gotta
it.
make a phone call, right?
Another exciting, warm, balmy day in Parsonsfield.
Yeah, gonna be another one tomorrow.
Thank you for listening. I hope at least my wife listened. I don't know.